What's going on, friends? Welcome back to our triple turbo Civic here. Today we get to work on our charge piping. We're gonna go from this turbo here to the inlets of these two turbos, and then these two turbos down to our charge pipe, to the intercooler, up to the intake. And the reason we're going from the big one into the small ones is that's just the way the traditional compound setup works. It goes through the exhaust side of this one, then this one, the intake goes from this one. It's just how I've seen it done on the internet. So that's why I'm gonna do it, and that's why we're gonna test it, and we're just gonna figure out. Of course, I've got a ton of comments from you guys saying, that's not gonna work, and you've gotta do this and this. Well, how many people have actually done it? Not a lot. So we're about to figure out. First off, let's make some room by getting rid of this hood latch, because we're not gonna be putting a hood on this thing, and we'll start there. One click at a time. Love it. We're just gonna leave you down there for now and hopefully forget about you. There we go, and we exit somewhere straight out the front. Now here comes the tricky part, splitting that into two pipes to go in each turbo. Now we will be reusing a bunch of the 8 turbo bends. The inlets to those other turbos are 1.75, which I have a piece of the pipe here, and this is 1.75. It actually fits really nicely in the 2-inch, so when we do get there, it'll slip inside and you can just weld this groove right there. But the biggest thing we need to do is take two 90-degree bends, and we need to merge them in a way that they fit inside this 2.5-inch pipe. So it discharges from 2.5 and it merges out to two 2-inch 90-degree bends. Disclaimer, I have no idea what I'm doing right now, but I'm gonna take a piece of wire that's the same dimensions as this. Here, we're gonna cut that. So that should be this. Like I said, I have no idea what I'm doing here. That's just the way it makes sense in my brain. I'm doing it the same way I do math, which is kind of weird. Like if it was 12 times 11, I don't do 12 times 11. What I do is 11 times 10, which is 110, and then I do 11 times 2, which is 22, so it ends up being 132. Anybody else do math like that? But that's the way I'm doing this right now, I think. 8.5, and half of 8.5 is 4.25. Now this should be half of this. This is so weird how I'm doing this. That doesn't look like half at all. Oh, you know what I did? I'm so stupid sometimes. If you look at the measuring tape here, it's actually 7, just about 7.5. And I thought it was 8.5 because I read 8 and then I went backwards this way. I'm an idiot sometimes. So now we know half of the pipe, we know that this one has to account for half of that pipe. That goes here. And we've got to cut here and there. Okay, let's see how badly I mess this up. And this is where a proper vertical bandsaw would come in handy. Now I like to do this real time to see if I suck or not, like before I even try and make any adjustments to it, so. Ish. It's pretty close. Okay, I think I figured it out. The biggest problem was this pipe right here, the length of the straight part on this one was a little bit longer than the straight part on this one. So if you actually line them up at the heels, they line up fairly well, fairly. And then you just gotta cut the top off this side. And then they're pointing kind of where I wanted them to point. Like that. We are totally gonna need some more aluminum practice, because trash. Now, this is how I planned it. Squeeze this one a little tiny bit on this side, and then the merge is still pretty friggin' smooth on the inside. You weld up this edge right here, and then we can continue with this edge, because if you would have continued with this edge, you would have burnt it out, because there was like, you ran out of material at the end, so you do this edge, and then you can butt with this edge, and it doesn't burn it out. Blow it out, whatever it is. You know what? That could have turned out much worse. We actually had to fill a little tiny gap here where we made that first miscut. So there's one gap here. There's actually one gap on the side here that we had to fill as well. Other than that, it would have came out much better. I mean, sometimes I can make things fit. It doesn't look too stupid, and I wonder what happens if we put a filter on here. I wonder if it looks half as dumb. If that were red, it would totally look like Rudolph the red-nosed Honda 3 Turbo deer. Now, like always, first side is gonna go on easy. The second side is the one hard to make match. There, side one. And it goes a little something like this. We're gonna need some smaller couplers, obviously, but... Dang, we did it. So much celebrations right now, yeah. You know what? At least we're trying to be different. Literally anybody could go out and bolt a single turbo onto a Honda. They make about 4,000 kits for them, and you could just go buy one and it all bolts up. It's only gonna be us, Boosted Lifestyle. Make sure to subscribe. So now I have to clock this turbo slightly so we can put a wastegate on it, and then we can build our pipe from this turbo to here, and then this turbo to there. Now this is still hot, but remember, pro tip, 909 channel lock pliers. I did cut the tops off mine. You don't have to do that to yours. You can just get more of the radius of the pipe. Perfect bead rolling pliers. Just kind of work your way around the pipe. Boom, sick bead. That's pipe 1 into our merge. Just goes up underneath the exhaust. I just said up under, but yep, I did do that. Down, under, into there. Now just this one into here. And there you have it, no more Bluetooth charge piping. Look at it, it goes from the big turbo here into the little turbos, and then out the little turbos, wise together right here, down through the intercooler, and then up into the engine. Complete system right here. We do have to get some smaller couplers right here. These are 2-inch, we need 1 3/4. And we do have to add a wastegate right here, which I have one. Our sexy Black Sheep Industries wastegates. It's our own company. These are 45 millimeters. We do have 60 millimeter gates too. Go check it out. The only thing is I don't have a flange here on hand. I used them on Gina's car. So she's running a pair of Black Sheep wastegates on this beast. I actually have a flange, but I warped it on a previous build, so I can't use it. These two are actually off my car. I'll steal one to put on this car and then grab another one. But I just need 2 flanges now, one for the wastegate and one for the exhaust turbine on this thing. I ordered it, I'm still waiting on it. This flange right here, so then we can put a wastegate somewhere in this area probably, and then have the exhaust pipe from the wastegate shoot up here and the exhaust pipe from this shoot up there as well. Now that we're this far, we've never put a hood on anything like this before. What if we put a hood on this? So we still have the hood, but what if we just cut it to fit around it, and then our turbos will look so much cooler with none of this background garbage in here. This hood's already got some damage on it, so I'm not too worried about it. Perfect, just like that. That'll work awesome. Okay, let's start making some reference points. So we're just gonna start by making some reference points here. So if we go, let's just say, and we're getting sketchy. Two more little spots. Hey! Garbage. Man, we are so cool. Okay, let's see how dumb we are now. I mean, I know we're idiots, but middle class idiots at least. Ha! You know what? This is the perfect opportunity to build a big like Subaru style hood scoop on it, just to cover half of it up. So what do you guys think? I feel like it gives it a little bit more of a subtle Civic vibe to it instead of just like this big stupid thing on the front. I feel like now it's like you can barely even see it. You have to get some hood pins for the hood. And like I said, we should build like a removable scoop to go on this. That would be super hilarious. So what is it? May 9th today? I would take the car outside. Unfortunately, it is snowing here today, which is, you know, very Canadian of us. So you know what? You heard it from me first. Go tell your boss it's a snow day today. You're going home. You're watching Boosted Lifestyles videos. You're gonna subscribe to them. You're gonna like all his stuff. And you know what? Just kick it. Dang, look at it. Just look at it. If you ain't subscribing for that, I don't know what you're subscribing for. The snow finally stopped enough to take it out for a little bit. Just need to add charge piping clamp, an exhaust, and a wastegate, and that's it. And then we can go do burnouts. What I really want to do is reverse burnouts, because that's all front wheel drives are good for. Now the funny thing is, the slicks and skinnies that are on the lawnmower will actually fit this thing. So we can bring it to the track. We can do dyno day things. We can take it on cruises. Like I hope to take this on Miles of Mayhem. Either I'll drive it or Dan will drive it, or whatever we have working. And we also have an all-wheel drive swap for this thing. So there's plenty more to come from this thing, but let's just see if it handles the front wheel drive version of this so far. Peace easy, get that V. Shop blacksheepindustries.ca.